Welcome to the fifth part of the Rainworld room tier list. In this series, I will rate all the rooms in Rainworld, region at a time. Today's region is Undergrowth, which is what drainage systems eventually became. It has 48 rooms and 93 screens, including 4 karma gates and shelters, which makes it smaller than drainage in rooms but larger than it in screens. Only Saint has access to the region. Unlike most other regions in Saint's world, Undergrowth is thriving. The coldness only reaches a few rooms in the region, which allowed vegetation to take over. This includes plant creatures like pole mimics and monster kelps. This also means the cold has no effect on Saint, so they can spend as much time here as they wish. The lizard presence here is a lot smaller compared to drainage, but a few still remain. 3 to be exact. As only one character has access to the region, I could realistically tell the exact number of each creature, but I don't think that's too relevant. Well, outside of the number of scavengers. There's 13 of those fellas, the highest it has ever been around these parts. The region has 4 instances of lineage, but as Saint has a hard time killing creatures, they don't really matter. A reminder the timeline is not really needed, but here it is anyway. Just for the sake of consistency, I guess. I already covered the gate in the drainage video, so let's get straight to UGB10. It is a double screen room. The song that plays here is called They Say. What do they say? Let's take a listen. You can't say that! Oh my god. Anyway, it has not changed much otherwise. The geometry is slightly different and the objects are the same. Starting with a seat here. UGCO3 is a triple screen room. The water that was here has been absorbed by all the vegetation. A dropwig spawns here, which is really annoying. The best way to deal with dropwigs is killing them, but as Saint cannot use spears, it can be a big problem. The room isn't tall either, so you can't swing past it with your tongue. Your best bet is to either have rocks to try and stun it or just... I don't know. I got lucky enough that it wasn't bothering me when I entered the region, but if that didn't happen, I could have been stuck here for who knows how long. I'll put it in D tier for that. UGZ01 is a triple screen room. The water that was here has also been greatly reduced. All that remains are some plants and possible pole mimics. At least you can easily climb to the top with your tongue. At the top you can find a mysterious new creature, the Stowaway. You might not even know this creature exists. Stowaways are ambush predators. It's a lot like barnacles from Half-Life, if you know what those are. They die to spore puff, so I guess it's an arthropod of sorts. Anyway, what do stowaways do? Well, most of the time, nothing. They have a mechanic where they have a chance of being active during any given cycle. If they're inactive, you probably won't even notice them. If they happen to be active, they'll have their strings under them that they use to feel for prey. If you detect something, reveal its true form. If you detect something, it will reveal its true form. They'll use their harpoon-like tentacles to stun and reel prey into its mouth. They're definitely a cool creature, but considering how they only spawn in 15 different rooms and they aren't even active most of the time, it's very likely you'll completely miss them. At least if you want to see one in action, you can throw a rock at it. That'll wake it up. The room also has these lineages. If they do spawn, they're not hard to avoid luckily. I wonder if anyone has rolled that 1% chance for a monster kelp. I doubt many have killed that pole mimic. Anyway, I'll give the room a B. I think it's better when you can go to the top easily. UGSO2L is a small shelter. As you can access it easily unlike in drainage, I'll cover it now. Though there isn't much to cover. It's the same shelter. It's better because it's more accessible at least. Is it good enough for B? Yeah, sure. UG821 is a single screen room. It's very similar to the past version. I don't think I need to keep saying there's more vegetation in most of these rooms. That's pretty much the only difference, though there is a blue lizard here. C tier. UG Gutter 05 is a double screen room. It's the exact same as in the past. Not even the vegetation has increased. C tier. UG Gutter 04 is a double screen room. There's a new creature here, the mother spider. Mother spiders are much like big spiders and spitter spiders in appearance. They can be identified by the green quills they have. Unlike them though, they're quite passive. Most of the time they will ignore you, though if you chase them down they might attack. Still, I've never had them attack me, so I consider them safe. Just don't attack them. If you do, they'll release a swarm of coalescipedes. They can spawn on their own, so I'll cover them later, but basically they're small spiders that like to swarm creatures. Mother spiders can also temporarily revive other spiders, just like big spiders. A spore buff will kill both the mother and the children as they are arthropods, though they don't share any regions. In the past there were no hostile creatures, so this does quite change how the room plays. Spiders are normally not a problem, but Saint's inability to kill is again quite the problem. They also made the connection to Gutter 03 visible. I guess it used to be hidden so real life wouldn't get lost immediately, as there aren't really any shelters that way. Anyway, C tier for this one. UG Reeve Start is a triple screen room. It's mostly the same, though the karma flower is missing and the background is snowy. The left side of the room is not snowy though. I guess they thought nobody would see it, so why bother? But you can indeed get there without cheating. The hazer is still alive, which is nice to see. I'll give it a C tier because of the missing karma flower. UG Gutter 03 is a 6 screen room. It's the same as before, though the spawns are halved compared to the carnivores. Still B tier. UG Gutter 02 is a triple screen room. Again, it's the exact same as Rivulet's version of this room. B tier. UG Gutter 01 is a double screen room. Breathing Hyometer is still the song that plays here. Yay! I really like that song. The water level has risen, and there's a lot more rubble everywhere. The risen water makes it easier for leeches to get you, so I recommend just grappling over them. There's also another stowaway here. Very cool, but it'll stay in C tier. UG-823, UG-824, UG-825 is a double screen room, despite the name. There are a few rooms like this here. They're named that way because they're in the same spot as they were in drainage. The connection on the left was cut and there's a new screen above the previous one. Up there you can find some tunnels that lead to the top. There you can find some bubble fruit and a new connection. I don't think it really improves the room, so it'll stay in C. UG-BO8 is a double screen room. It's the same as before, except the water level is higher. It's also less useful than before because of the changed room connections and the fact Saint can scale CO1, so they don't need to take the detour like the other slug cats. It doesn't really make me upset though, so I'll keep it in D tier. UG-CO4 is a triple screen room. It's also the same as before with no changes other than the visuals. Just be careful if this red centipede lurking around the region decides to come here. C tier. UG-BO7 is a double screen room. The room is close enough to the surface. No, not that one. That it has snow in the background. I'm pretty sure Saint doesn't freeze in these rooms, but if they do, you can just go to one of the warmer ones. Despite the cold, there is more vegetation still. The various lizards from the past have been replaced by centipedes. 10 infants and 1 red. I was lucky enough to completely avoid it during my stay in Undergrowth, but it can definitely cause some issues. At least Saint has great mobility to escape from it. The 10 infants don't really matter as Saint cannot eat meat. I'll keep it in B. UG-AO8 is a single screen room. It's the same as before except it has snow. This could be why there are no polymix or monster kelps anymore. C tier. UG-SO4 is a small shelter. Nothing has changed. Still B tier. UG-BO4 is a double screen room. The cold is here, which has likely caused the lilybugs to go away. Very sad, as Saint could have used us for some damage. Oh well. The Wet Moist is still the song that plays here at least. I noticed scavengers didn't really show up either. I guess they're too busy protecting the newly established toll. Keep it in C tier. UG-A19 is a single screen room. Despite the cold, there are more plants here. There are also many centipedes, 5 infants and 5 larger ones. It can be challenging to get past this room with how little space there is to avoid them. There's also a lineage, but I wouldn't worry about it. What are you going to do, find the one infant and keep killing it? I doubt that. Another C tier. UG-AO9 is a single screen room. We're getting back into the warm rooms. The room has had some big changes. First, the connection on the left has been covered by thick roots. There are also no creature spawns, but the helicopter has been released. It has no collision, but it reveals a new room connection. I'll keep it in C tier. UG-AO2 is a single screen room. A lot has changed here too. The connection to AO9 did not exist before. The floor is filled with water and the left pipe thingy has collapsed. There are also 2 stowaways. I think this is the only instance of there being 2 of them in one room. It's kind of funny, because pretty much every creature fears stowaways, so the blue lizard that spawns here is hesitant when it comes to chasing you. This can also be annoying if you want to go that way. I'll give it a C. UG-AO6 is a single screen room. The bottom is now filled with water and jungle leeches. The 2 platforms have also disappeared, which means the connection to AO1 is gone. At least there is a 3rd blue fruit for you to enjoy. Staying in C tier. UG-A22 is a single screen room. Let's play a little game. It's called Find the Dropwig. I'll give you 5 seconds. Bing. Time's up. I hope you didn't guess anything, because there isn't one here. I mean, it would be quite evil if there was one behind the... Oh. Cut that out. Compared to the past, the connection to A15 is gone, and there's a water pit in the middle of the room. I'll keep it in C tier. UGBO2 is a double screen room. Nothing too significant has changed, though they say we'll also play here. I won't let them say much after the last incident. Let's play another round of Find the Drop Wig. I'll give you... It's here. It's just... Let's move on. See it here. UGBO3 is a double screen room. The path on the right has collapsed, but otherwise it is the same as before. There are a lot less lizards around, so hopefully none will fall into the pipes. There is this lineage here now. Oh fuck? What? There actually used to be a real pole where this pole mimic is now located, so it's actually kind of an evil trick. I'll keep it in B. UGA20 is a single screen room. It's still a nice safe space with a karma flower and 4 bubble fruit. Very cozy. B tier. UGSO1R is an average shelter. Still useful as ever. Staying in B tier. UGA16 is a single screen room. The floor has collapsed, revealing 2 monster kelp and a bunch of jungle leeches. There is a blue token for the jungle leeches in the water. If you go for it, you'll probably die. This token does exist in Outer Expanse too, so I'd rather get it from there. I'll downgrade the room to a C. The vibes aren't as good now that the floor is gone. UGA07 is a triple screen room, despite the name. This is because it combines A07 and A17 from the past to form one big room. In the process, the 2 hazes got out of the area they were stuck in. I'm so happy for them. Now they get to swim around in a big pool. You shouldn't join them, as there are jungle leeches there. Luckily they ignore hazers, so they can swim in peace. The lilybugs that used to be here are gone. Guess they just don't survive in this climate. The middle screen did not exist in the past and it's nothing special. Just a little pipe connecting the screens. The right screen has had its pipe collapse. Luckily the hazes got out. Both of the rooms got a C in the past, but I'll upgrade it to a B. UGA24 is a single screen room. It's the same as the past version, other than the lantern on a stick. Keep it in C. UGA11 is a single screen room. This room is now inhabited by a scavenger trader. The karma flower is located in the middle of the room, so the trader might just pick it up before you can get it. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. It's kind of cool that it is now a trading post, but I don't think it's enough to get out of C tier. UGA05 is a triple screen room. The song that plays here is called Weather Steps, though it is only 21 seconds long. Just like A07, this room combines 2 rooms, which are A10 and of course A05. The top left screen is what remains of A10. I'm quite happy to see it gone. The top right screen was not available in the past. It's a lot like what A10 used to be, without all the waiting. You better pick the middle path here, because there are pole mimics waiting for you if you go the wrong way. The bottom screen is DSA05. It has decayed severely and it barely resembles what it used to be. It's also dark, much like the rest of the bottom parts of the region. At least it has 6 blue fruit. A10 got an E and A05 got a C in the past. I think I'll keep it in C. I just don't really enjoy the top screen and the bottom screen doesn't have much going on. At least it looks cool. UG Toll is, well, a toll. It's 3 screens wide and it is where you'll find most of the scavengers in the region. It is also one of the few rooms in the region that have snow. You can get cold here, but with all the lanterns around it's not an issue. Honestly, the toll is kind of useless. I think it's better to just go through A05 to go where you want. There are 2 pole mimics on the left, so watch out for those. I'll give it a C tier. Going past the toll, you'll end up in UG Filters, all lowercase except the F. It's only a single screen and... This is DSA01, isn't it? Why is it here, with a different name? I really don't understand. I think it having 2 entrances now kind of alters the vibe and I don't like it as much. Dropping it to C tier. UGBO6. The room that I gave an F in the past. It is different now, as it has 3 screens instead of 2. The new screen doesn't add too much to the room, but it does still improve it. The rest of the room is mostly the same, other than the darkness. In the past, the previous rooms really made me hate this one, but as those rooms are now gone, I don't feel the same way anymore. I'll upgrade it to a C tier. UGA26 is a single screen room. It's dark now. I think it looks pretty cool. Under normal conditions, the song Swaying Thrones would play here, but the being in the next room is preventing that. It'll go from D to C. UGCO2. It is very different from the past, though still familiar. Most notably, there's an echo. Echoes are beings that failed to leave this world behind. They're now forever stuck between life and death. Rooms near an echo will be darker and slightly distorted, and you can see golden flakes raining along with calm music, which is called past echoes in this case. Most other creatures will also fall asleep in these rooms. There are some conditions to get the echo to appear, But as Saint ignores those conditions, I'll talk about it when other slugcats can find one. All echoes have a monologue they will speak if the slugcat has obtained the mark of communication. Some start with it, some have to earn it, but Saint here doesn't need one. It can understand them just as well. This echo is called Rhinestones Beneath Shattered Glass, and they have the following monologue. Do you see the same as me? Beauty continuing to bloom even in a place long forgotten. I did not have the will to depart, nor the desire. Why did they always search for an escape, as if we were imprisoned? What offering from the void could usurp the gift of life already given? This moment, right here. It is where we are meant to be. This echo is kind of a sad story. They clearly didn't want to leave this world, yet they were forced to do so anyway. It's unfortunate this echo is so early in the tier list, and it is quite late in the actual game. I think it's far more impactful if you've met all the others and you know what happened in the past regarding the ancients. Once the monologue ends, you'll wake up back in the last shelter you slept in, with your maximum karma increased. Like I said, the rest of the room is different but also similar. You can see some elements from the past, like the big pipe on the top of the room. There is a red token on top of it, which is pretty nice. The middle of the room no longer has a hole that leads to the bottom, so you must go there through a little pipe. The bottom room is pretty much the same, at least in terms of geometry. I give the past version a D, but I'll give this one an A. The echo really carries it. UGDO3 is a 6-screen room. It is another one of those rooms that combine two rooms from the past. This time it's A27 and DOS3. The floor of A27 has disappeared and there is now a large area. At least the funny monster kelp has survived this long. Climbing back up is impossible, without Saint's tongue that is. Watch out for the other monster kelp that is now at the bottom of the hole. The DO3 section is twisted. At least most of the water is gone now. I'll put it in C. UG Darko 3 is a single screen room. It is indeed quite dark. A pretty average room, I'd say. C tier. UG Darko 2 is a single screen room. I have nothing to say about it. D tier, I guess. UG Darko 1 is a triple screen room. It has a funny monster kelp on the right side along with a gold token. I don't have much else to say about it. I'll put it in C tier. UG DO2 is a single screen room. The top 3 screens have crumbled and only the bottom screen remains. Single Lillipuck has been replaced by 2 bubble fruit. There are also 3 infant centipedes. Though a Saint doesn't eat meat, they don't do much. I put the past version in D, but I'll put this one in C. I think it being reduced to a single screen improves it. UG SO3 is an average shelter. It's the same as before, though you can't get stuck anymore. The past had rooms where you could get stuck as a new player, because there was a pretty tough swimming section you had to do. But as that is now gone, I'll upgrade it to a C tier. UG DO1 is the last room for today. Kinda funny considering it was the 5th room in drainage system. Anyway, it's still 4 screens wide. There's barely any water left, so you can just kinda go. DSBO1 no longer exists, so that connection has been removed. The middle of the bottom section has collapsed, so you have to take the top path. As usual, the colored pearl has been blanked out due to the exposure to the environment. I'll give the room in C tier. And that's all of them. Here's the list for the region. 1 A tier because of the echo, and no E or D tiers. That's not true! 1 A tier because of the echo, and no E or F tiers. Certainly an improvement on drainage system, I'd say. Here's the global tier list. I still haven't changed the positions of the old rooms that I said I'd change when I added the E tier. Whoops. Maybe next year then. Overall, I think Undergrowth is C or B. I'll put it in C for now, but it's definitely better than drainage. I definitely need to look back on the old region and rearrange some stuff, but that's for another time. Thank you for watching, and sorry it took so long again. I hope the next one will come out this year, but we'll see. The region is quite big after all, and very dark. Well, anyway, goodbye!